Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about hair extensions. So I've had hair extensions in the past, and once again, like when I went to research for hair extensions, I researched online and I actually didn't find much about them, so I just kind of went with it and I just went and got them. Obviously I don't have them in now. This is all my natural hair and it's nice and short. So I just wanted to talk about a few things that you need to know before getting hair extensions, because they are a big investment. Like, they are really expensive. So which brings me on to the first thing. So you need to know how much they are. So they vary from different places. Where I got mine done, a full head, was 250 euros. It wasn't in the salon. I went to the girl's house and she did it, but she was a professional hairdresser. So if you go to salons and stuff, it might be a bit more expensive. I remember I got my hair done for my Debs in Urel's in town, and one of the hairdresser people was like, oh yeah, I got hair extensions before, and I was like, oh right, and she's like, I only got them in because I get a discount because I work here, because they do hair extensions in Urel's. And I was like, oh, how much were they? And she was just like, they're like 800 euro, and I was like, huh? Like, that is so much money. Like, you could buy a little car for that. But mine weren't. They're still expensive. Like, that's still expensive for me, like 250 euros. So you need to know how to look after them and how to keep them for as long as you can, so you can get as much out of your money as possible. So they are quite expensive. So the first thing that I'll go on to is when you first get them done. So when you first get them done, your head is kind of sore, like your scalp is a little bit sore, because the bonds are really tight to your head. So I found when I slept, they were really tight, and it was really kind of hard to sleep on them. It was sore, like, it really was. And they didn't end up damaging my hair because I really looked after them and stuff, but you can see from that, like, how tightly they are at your scalp, how it can really damage someone's hair if they're not done properly. So that's the first thing. Like, if they are a little bit tight when you get them in first, don't freak out about it. Just, they'll grow out a little bit. It won't always be that sore when you're sleeping and stuff. So which brings me on to the second thing. So the second thing for looking after hair extensions is brushing your hair. It is so essential that you brush your hair. I brush my hair morning and night, and sometimes in between. Especially if you go to the gym, make sure that you brush your hair after the gym, because if you sweat and stuff, the sweat will go. Like, I remember when I was doing spinning, I was sweating so much, and this is the main reason why I got them out, was because my hair was matting. Like, my natural hair was matting when it was growing out, and it was because I brushed them as much as I could. It was just because of how much I was sweating when I was going to the gym, so they're kind of not really ideal if you do a lot of sports and stuff, or if you swim, because they do take a very long time to dry. But yeah, so it's really important that you do brush them all the time. Get a really good brush, like a tangle teaser. You can get them in any shops, really. They're really common now. So that is really important. And also what I found like helped with my hair, and that I didn't damage my hair, was like, your hair is so much longer when you do have the extensions in. So what I found was, like, when I was brushing the top of my head, I'd brush the top of my head, but when I went down to like the body of my hair, I'd like hold the top, like hold my hair like that, and I'd brush it down, just because you didn't want to tug on your hair. Like, I just didn't really want to tug on my hair that much, so I did that. So yeah, that is kind of just brushing. Just make sure you brush them an awful lot, because you don't want them to get matted or tangled, because that would just be a disaster, like a disaster. So another thing with when my hair got all matted at the top was because I wasn't putting, like they say, especially with keratin bonds, and to put conditioner on the bonds because they'll slip. So I didn't ever really put conditioner on the bonds because I was just like, nope, not slipping, gonna get my money's worth. But you should put conditioner just up where your actual natural hair is before the bond. Just, it'll help with it not being matted. So I do that like once a week, just so that they don't slip, but so your hair doesn't get matted, because it won't get all dry and like come together. It'll like soften out and you get all the tangles out. But other than that, whenever you're washing your hair, make sure to avoid the bonds because you don't want them to slip. So that's that with conditioner. Also with conditioner and shampoo, you shouldn't, there's an awful lot of, it's like sulfur and sulfate and all of that. If you look in the ingredients, nowadays there's an awful lot of shampoos that don't have sulfate and sulfur in it. You should completely avoid them because it breaks down the bonds and it breaks down the hair, because the hair isn't real hair. So you should try and use shampoos that just don't have any of that in it. And it's like, when I got mine done like 2 years ago, it was like 2 years ago, was it? Yeah, it was like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. There was like no shampoos. I think it was Elvive. Was it Elvive? Elvive was the one that didn't have any sulfate in it, sulfur. So you need to watch out for that as well, because you're like, most salon people probably say it to you, but like if they don't, you just need to watch out for that so that you can get the most out of your hair extensions as you possibly can, because you've spent so much money on them. So when styling your hair extensions, I don't know about other people, but I definitely had to always style my hair after I washed it. It took me about an hour and a half to dry my hair. That was before I styled it or anything like that. I had to dry my hair straight because my hair is naturally really curly. So it would just be like really curly hair and then a straight thing if I didn't dry it straight. So yeah, that took me like an hour and a half. So that's why I'm saying like it's kind of not ideal if you do swim a lot, because it takes a very long time to dry your hair. Depending on how much hair you got and how much, if you don't kind of dry your hair, it doesn't look the best either, so you're kind of just better off to dry it. So to avoid damage and all of that, you just, your normal things that you do with your normal hair, I put oils at the very bottom of my hair and just like all through it, just to keep it shiny and soft. Also heat protection, because I know that it's not your own hair, but it's still gonna look kind of raggedy if you don't look after it, so you kind of have to look after it. So because it can get damaged, to pretty much use heat to dry it every single time that you dry it. And if you go to the gym and all of that and you wash your hair maybe once every 2 days, it's gonna take its toll. And like, it's good for hair extensions because when you are styling your hair with heat, the hair extensions take the brunt of the heat, so your actual hair doesn't get that damaged. But you still don't want the hair that is on your head, because they're attached to your head, to look all ratty and stuff, so you should look after them. So on to the last thing, the time that they last for. So it all depends on how well you look after them. So I got like 6 months out of each of mine easily, but it also depends, it might not even depend on how well you look after them. It could depend on how fast your hair grows as well. Like, my hair doesn't grow that fast, so I did get very long wear out of them. I know some people only get like 4 months out of them, and some people will get 6 months, but the bonds will be like down to here and they'll look sick. So yeah, like, I actually got my hair extensions trimmed. Like, I just went to trim them because I wanted them a certain length, and when they grow down, like, so does your hair, and they get like way too long and it just looks bad. So I just got them trimmed. And also, if you're getting them done, you should ask your hairstyle person to kind of cut, like, give them kind of like a cut towards your face, because if they don't do that it'll look really severe. I remember the last time I got them done, the girl didn't do it and I had to go to a hairdresser's and they just looked so severe, and then she kind of layered it down and made it look like normal hair and then it was fine. So yeah, that is pretty much everything that you really need to know about hair extensions. There isn't that much. It's just like, be careful. You spend an awful lot of money on them, so you might as well look after them really well. I just used the Moroccan oil from Penny's, and just use a sulfate free shampoo and just get yourself a good brush, and that is really all you need. So yeah, that is that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it an old thumbs up, and I'll just pop the subscribe button right here, and all you have to do is click it. Easy as. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.